everybody. This is Brad Bruce, and I'm here with
Jase Marsiglia.
And you are listening to the 5195 podcast.
Coast to coast, like Space Ghost. Yeah.
Did you watch that show?
I used to, yeah, here and there.
Yeah, so did I. Every time you say coast to coast, I think of that KFI show that I used to listen to.
Those, yeah.
Art Bell and George Norrie. But that's something that I want to get into on a later show.
For sure. I thought you were going to go the other way and say Casey Kasem or some shit.
Fuck. I blew it. I fucking blew it.
No, you went in the direction that we would go, so it's
Yeah. Well, let's do a quick catch up.
Sure.
How's the writing coming?
It's going good. I think I mentioned in the last episode that I finished the outline for the creepy dark web one.
Mm-hmm.
And I have moved on. I've started the outline for the cellar dweller comedy. And that one's been moving along pretty decently. And it's been funny. And the thing is, I know I was talking about not really hopping back and forth. I may just stick with one or the other, but at least this way I have two completed outlines to work off of, where the thought process regarding the structure of both stories is done. And I could just add meat. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now, is I'm going to finish up the outline for the comedy, and then I have two to choose from now to just either dive into full bore, creepy, disturbing, ugly shit, or silly town, goofy bullshit.
Yeah.
But either way, to me, the hard part's done of figuring out point A to B on both.
Question.
Yeah.
When you are coming up with these ideas, do you have the ending ready to go? Or do you just go beat by beat and let the story unfold? Because that's what I do.
I do that most of the time.
Yeah.
In fact, outlining like I'm doing right now, I don't even do that. This has been kind of new to me. But the thing is, at least for the dark web one, I've got so many plates spinning on that one that I needed something to follow, because I've probably got 4 intertwining plots happening simultaneously in the dark web one.
Wow, 4?
And, yeah. Wow. And that's kind of hard to figure out, not just how much time you're giving to each plot line, but where are they going to intersect? And, like if story A and C intersect near the end, is that going to affect something that happened in stories B and D? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I needed to do it for this script because it was so complex. I wanted to make sure all the ducks were in a row so that when I do start to write it, I could just be like, all right, today I'm going to do a scene from story A, then go here tomorrow, and make sure that it moves smoothly enough that the readers can follow it. But most importantly, I write it in a way that's not cheating anybody.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard, especially with ones like this where there's maybe a twist ending or something. You kind of got to work backwards and sweep your footprints away.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to do that when you're sweeping 4 sets of footprints.
That's a very daunting task, for sure.
It is, and it's probably my most ambitious script. It's probably going to be ridiculously long, that first cut.
Okay.
But I just wanted to get it out there. Then I can whittle it down to whatever. But I could see this one being kind of big, maybe too big, but then working it backwards, and slimming it up. Whereas the comedy is just madcap bullshit.
Right. That's a lot of plots.
It is.
It's cool, though.
But that's the thing. It's not so much. It's not even like, say, Pulp Fiction, where you're gonna get a story and then another story and another story.
Right.
These are all happening simultaneously. So we're gonna cut back and forth between a lot of things. So you're following a lot.
So it's just one continuous story.
Yes, it'll be like it's all housed in the same plot. It's just these characters may not meet these characters till later. You won't even know the connection between this guy and this guy until later. It's just I've mapped it out pretty intricately to where by the end, when everything clicks into place, it's like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
That's the big picture. You know what I mean? And it's like I said, I've done multi-story stuff before, but it's been more anthology-like.
Right.
So it's a little easier, but this one's kind of heavy. I'm kind of experimenting on this one.
That's good, though.
So,
you're challenging yourself.
Yeah. So that one's going to be the tough one for sure.
Yeah. It sounds very detailed. It sounds like a lot of continuity you're going to have to pay close attention to.
Exactly. Continuity that's definitely the key, is making sure someone doesn't go back and reread it or rewatch it and go, well, this doesn't make sense to the timeline you set down.
I think with that already in your mind, that's already half the battle.
Yeah.
Because you're already fully aware of that. And most writers that I've worked with or have read some of their stuff, they're not.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, that's cool, man. But those are two different worlds, with that lighthearted, fun comedy, and then that extremely tug at the collar dark.
Yes.
Well, that's cool though. That's good. I can't wait to read.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely going to get on it, man. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. I'm still just polishing things and, and getting them.
Sure.
Getting them ready. I am fleshing out a new story. I've always wanted to do a Western. So
sure.
I'm like, you know what? Let me try to do my version of a Western. So
that would be dope.
Yeah, it's cool. You obviously know the concept of what's going on. So clearly I'm not going to talk about it right now, but I'm very excited. I was talking to another buddy about it, and he was like, wow, this is something different, and I was like, oh, wow, cool. Thank God. I, like you, I'm not worried of being able to come up with ideas.
Yeah.
Because I don't come up with an idea that I'm trying to reach every single person in the world. I literally am coming up with shit that I want to read or I want to see.
Sure.
But moving on from that, but still kind of in the same realm. So, I've been writing more than I have in many years.
Sure.
And it was just so fun.
Yeah.
It just flowed, and I was happy, and I was excited, and because I was in that mind frame of, well, I want to sell these. So the gloves were off, and I was able to write whatever the story needed, as opposed to writing what I had because I was going to try to make it.
Yeah.
So now it's like, I feel like my writing doesn't suffer. Not that it really did before, but I feel like I can just really pay attention to the stories now. It was very liberating, but then also, I should have been doing this 20 years ago. And what I mean is, I should have been just writing scripts at just the purest form and trying to sell them.
Right.
I feel like taking the route of becoming a filmmaker, I feel like it hindered me a bit as a writer.
Well, the only argument I'd have for that is the fact that being a filmmaker in all aspects opened the necessary doors that a writer would need to succeed, as opposed to some guy in the Midwest like myself who just started putting pen to paper and didn't know where to go from there.
See, that's the other side of the coin. I understand.
So I mean,
that.
So I don't feel like your previous years as a filmmaker were for naught. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're definitely going to benefit from that as a writer.
Right. Yes.
So it's all a good thing. It's all tools in your toolbox.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I told Tina, I was like, I need to talk to you about film and my future and filmmaking. And she was just like, oh no, here we go again. Here we go again.
I just want to dance.
That's it. That's all I want to fucking do. Maybe it is the writer in us that we want to create a little bit of suspense until we tell them what's going on.
Oh, sure.
And so I told her, I was like, oh, we need to talk. I made a decision about my future in the film industry. Rereading it, I was like, that might have not been the best. I could have prefaced or followed up, but everything's good. Everything's going to be good, but I didn't. And when I met with her, she was like, just her face, was just, oh God, okay, tell me.
What have you done?
And all I said was, I really want to focus more on writing scripts and selling them and not worrying about being on set right now. I love being on set. It's fun. You know what it's like.
Yeah.
But yes, they say, being a writer is a very lonely profession, which it is. It really is, maybe there's parts of me that thrive on the loneliness. I don't know. It's weird. I don't have a problem with that. I feel like I'm able to be a little more creative. Not getting too fucking weird, but just telling her I really want to focus on writing as many scripts that I feel are marketable.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm not giving up on filmmaking. I would love to be on set, producing, directing, whatever it may be. But I feel like I am better if I was to just continue writing and trying to secure an agent or, a literary agent and try to sell some of the stories that I have.
Right.
So that's really what I'm going to try to do. So, hopefully some of our listeners are agents and they want to hire us and buy all these amazing scripts that are going to make them millions of dollars, So
Exactly.
I mean,
who wouldn't want that?
It's not that hard. You know what I mean? It's like if you look at like who we are and if you spent a day with us, you would see just how fucking great me and Jase are, and you would be fighting tooth and nail to buy some of our scripts. Just saying.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we're doing. It's saying.
We're just saying it. Yeah. So I'm embracing the writing side of it now and really trying to produce some really fun stuff, because like I feel like the shackles are off and I don't have to write to what I have now versus now I can just write and the story doesn't suffer.
That's gotta be cool, yeah. Because I've never had that pivot before. Because I've always just wanted to write, and I remember that epiphany and how awesome that felt.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been all over, and
I've been all over the fucking place in this shit.
It's kind of I would imagine it feels new and exciting to come up with.
It is, and I think that's why
again.
Yeah, and I think that's why I'm embracing it so much because it is fucking exciting, and it's one of those things where like when you and I started talking about doing the show, that everything just fell into place and it clicked, and then when we started, it just fucking ran smooth.
Sure.
I was like, you know what? Everything clicked. And in this moment, coming up with this, I'm just going to write and make some really great scripts. Like, that's all I want to focus on.
Yes.
And so I'm having a good time.
Oh, that's great.
And it's like, yeah, if I can use a connection from Hollywood to where I'm like, hey, read our stuff. You think we're good enough? Help us get an agent or give it to the right person. Maybe that's a leg up that a lot of people don't have, that I'm lucky enough to have. I'm not saying go take all our scripts to fucking acquisitions at fucking Universal immediately. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like, if you feel like, hey, this is good, let me give it to someone and this could potentially be a film. I'm not looking to get rich. I'm looking to just continue to be able to create and make things.
As a full-time job.
As a full-time job. Yeah, it's like I just want to be able to have the freedom of knowing that, man, writing once again is paying my bills, but this time it's my script versus just writing for someone else. If I could just be sitting at a desk in my office and the bills are paid, the phone's still ringing like, what do you have?
It doesn't get much better.
Doesn't get much better. And, I'm a pretty easy to please guy. I don't need much. I'm sure a lot of people right now that know me are going to be like, that's a crock of shit. The old me, yeah, you're probably right. The new me, I'm becoming sort of a minimalist. I really am. I don't need all of this shit that I've acquired over these years. I'm just excited to see where this is going to go.
I think you should be, just because these aren't easy decisions to make, and both of us know how prickly this path can be. And neither one of us have just fallen into this by luck. It is a lot of hard work. So obviously you and I don't want anyone listening to this to think, oh, these guys, this is just ambition, pure ambition, pie in the sky bullshit. No. We've thought this stuff out. We've thought of a plan. We have done trial and error. We have fought tooth and nail.
Yep.
So that now that we've gotten to this point, we have to make these decisions.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing. It really is. I mean,
and it also shows growth within ourselves.
Yes, there's a lot of growth.
Yeah, because growth is for sure. One of my scripts that I had written, it was funny because a friend of mine read it early on and was just like, "No, bro, this isn't no." It was fucking hilarious. If I can pull these samples out, I will definitely put them out so people can laugh because these are good mistakes.
Learn.
These are good mistakes. You know what I mean? You got to learn. You have to learn, especially if you're not going to go the school route. You still got to learn. You got to learn format.
We've all heard the stories where producers and agents they're literally looking for a reason to throw your script out because it's just more work, right? Yeah. And if something crosses their desk that looks even remotely outside of studio standard or industry standard, I should say, they'll pitch it gladly. The format is the first, in my opinion, second biggest hurdle outside of coming up with a good idea. You can have a brilliant idea and not know how to put it on paper. But yeah, once you've got the good idea, putting it down the way it's supposed to be is key to your at least even trying to get in the door.
Yeah, because like you're right.
So
Like no one will look at it if it's not formatted
no,
correctly.
no, you have to go into it looking at it like they only need the slightest reason to throw this out. Don't give it to them.
That's why there's also script services that you can give your shit out to make sure that it's formatted properly, to make sure that,
Oh yeah.
especially if you have something good, the last thing you would ever want is if you had a phenomenal idea
Mm-hmm.
and then, some agent gets a hold of it, and before he gives it to anyone, he's going to read it and go, "Oh, fuck this. This guy can't write. I'm not going to read it," and throw it away.
Yep.
And it'll happen.
That's that.
It will totally fucking happen. So,
yes.
Yeah, formatting is key. And I used to do exercises on Final Draft. I would just do formatting exercises.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, just to get your your shortcuts down. Just on one page, I would just do all the headings, do the actions, dialogues, parentheticals, like whatever it may be, your transitions and stuff like that. And I would just be writing exterior, location, day, action, and there's a knife, so it's like knife is capitalized, or sometimes it's italicized, like whatever it may be, or if there's a sound, like capitalizing
a lot of those
the sound.
Capitalizations, a lot of that stuff, if I'm not mistaken, is for other crew to jump out at them.
It is.
You capitalize, hunting knife. That's for the prop guy to go, okay, I need that kind of knife. Cool.
Right.
Because everyone's going to have the script and everyone's going to have their own colored highlighters and, everyone has something to pay attention to.
Yep. Especially when you're handing the script off.
Yes.
Which I have never done before, and I'm excited about that. But, so learning that, because I never did that stuff, dude. I never capitalized props or things, like that, or even sounds. Because in my mind, I'm like, I just write on my script on the day, like, there's going to be this is going to happen, and it's like, this is for editing.
Yeah. So, and that's the filmmaker in you reading the script, especially when you were doing your own stuff. Mm-hmm. You don't really have to tailor it to anyone but yourself because you were going to go shoot it.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that was the thing, is one of the first times that I had given a script that I had written for someone else, I would put WS, wide shot, over the shoulder, medium, 2-shot, this would be like a dolly tracking shot. I gave it to him and he was like, "Why are you coming up with my shot list, dude? I just need the story. I don't need your vision on the script. I'm going to create the shot list. I don't need you, and I was like, oh fuck. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, it's, I don't know, man. I got a whole new fondness for the art of screenwriting again. And I'm really excited. Cool. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to see where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Because it's again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's like, I'm in the fortunate position of, if I knew then what I know now.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to be honest with you, I don't feel I wasted my time per se. I did when I first came to this realization. I was like, holy fuck, I wasted a lot of time. But the more I thought about it, and then you sort of reiterating what I said about, you were like, dude, you learned a lot and you did a lot, and you made a lot of connections. And so that's where I'm fortunate. That's why I'm like, you know what, maybe this was supposed to happen right now. Everything in my life that's happening, maybe it's supposed to be,
I think so. Because honestly, you did guerrilla film school.
Yes,
in my opinion, that's what it was. You did boots on the ground film school. Mm-hmm. And that's the most priceless form of film school, is being able to do as opposed to learn, because you're learning while doing. It's just putting feathers in your cap.
Yeah.
You could go to film school and get all the good grades, but you still got to prove yourself out there, and you were doing it as you were learning. And I think that's invaluable, everything that you did. I wouldn't look at it any worse than when you tell me, because you've heard me say before, this is cool that I'm starting to take off, but goddamn, I'm in my 40s now. And you're like, so?
Exactly.
It's no different than me saying that. You're like, dude, you're meant to be here now. Mm-hmm. So don't worry about everything that led up to it. You were doing what you were supposed to. You didn't waste any time. You wrote that whole time.
Yeah.
That's to me, that's no different than what you're describing.
Yeah.
You're talking about an era that you were getting vital connections and experiences that are only going to enrich your writing. So I think it's awesome no matter how you cut it, personally. I think you should be proud of that. Frankly.
Yeah, I am. I definitely am proud of that. Well, now that we're done, blowing smoke up each other's ass. But still keeping with the movie theme.
Yes, okay.
Because there's a movie that's coming out. I'm just so on the fence. Because I feel like we could do an entire show on this film. And
oh, really? Okay.
Yes, and it's a film that we have loosely discussed, but I've never really discussed just how impactful the film was to me.
Oh, okay.
So I was thinking we could just kind of move into like, hey, movies coming out, this year. Like, is there anything you're excited about or curious about, Because
there's a few.
I have one that's been on my mind. I want to have high hopes, but I'm also extremely terrified because of the sequels.
Oh, really? Okay.
And that is the Rupert Sanders, The Crow. And I'm very worried about this movie. I'm not worried about Bill Skarsgård playing Eric Draven. That's a fucking great choice.
No, he's great.
He is.
It's been very tightly wrapped.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know very little about it myself outside of just the surface stuff that's come out about Skarsgård and stuff like that.
And they're being so secretive with this shit, which is good.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
No.
I don't know.
I think part of it's superstition because it's such a cursed production, quote unquote.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention, I mean, if you take away the stigma of The Crow and its sequels, this reboot or whatever it is has started and stopped probably a dozen times.
Mm-hmm. And I've always wondered why.
I don't know. And you don't really find out. It's just either people have left or this didn't work out or that didn't work out. And I feel like they're looking at it like if we divulge too much, we're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's partly superstitious. It
has to be. I mean, because you already know that, like, eyes and ears are open on this one.
Yeah, people, I'm probably more with you about being, I don't want to say ambivalent, just cautious about this one. But I know that there's people out there that are like, I cannot fucking wait for this. Mm-hmm. They don't seem concerned.
No, they don't seem concerned.
It's probably just us who was there when the whole tragedy went down and grew up knowing that every time we popped in our VHS tape.
Yep.
There's that generation's kind of already come and gone and dealt with it, whereas the newer ones are like, oh, The Crow. Mm-hmm. And that's fine.
Well, because here's the thing is, I worked in a comic book shop.
Yeah.
And so I was aware of The Crow before it was anything.
It was a little underground thing.
And then also working from the comic book shop to a video store. Geez, my fucking employment history it's insane. It's like the only thing missing is like circus. But even at the video store, like being fans of like Fangoria and stuff like that, and then finding out that they were doing a live action and being a fan of Brandon Lee, just obviously because of his father, but just because of his own body of work. Laser Mission is fucking amazing. Rapid Fire is fucking amazing. Like Showdown in Little Tokyo
they're fun.
Yes.
These are fun movies.
They're extremely fun.
Yeah.
So I had high hopes because I was like, Jesus Christ, that's Eric Draven. Oh my God. Like, I had a dog named Draven. You know what I mean? Like, I was so excited for this. And then I remember pulling into the driveway and then getting out of the car, walking by the window and seeing the helicopter flying ahead of the studio. And I saw it like in his picture there. And I was just like, what? And then like went inside and saw it. And I was just like, there's no fucking way. There's no way. And then that whole year of, okay, it's over. And then they started saying, well, we're finishing it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And I remember me and my cousin going to United Artists Theater. And I was just completely fucking blown away at what I had seen.
it's so much better than what it was meant to be.
It was.
You know?
It was. Like, that's my Blade Runner.
Okay.
It just really spoke to me.
No kidding.
Yeah, and it was just obviously the music.
Oh, the soundtrack's phenomenal.
One of the best ones ever. But it was also the message, you know. It was insane, you know. And then even like with the little girl Sarah and like the relationship with her mother and the world, it was insane, man. It was like this dark fantasy that just, it seemed like a real place that I could go visit. Like it was so, you know, it was so crazy. And then, you know, then they started doing all these remakes and I was like, oh my God, you literally are shitting on this legacy. You're shitting on this legacy.
They're not great. I mean, no. I rarely revisit them. I know I watched City of Angels again a few years back, and it was better than I remembered.
It's not bad.
And in fact, it was pretty good. I'll even go as far as to say it was pretty good. Mm-hmm. But I had to watch it with that mindset because when I first saw it, I was like, this is garbage. This is terrible. You know, why even bother? And I think most of us didn't give it a shot for that very reason.
I'll be the first one to say that.
Yeah, I mean, once I heard they were even doing it, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, then when I saw Salvation...
Salvation, I've only seen it the one time.
Kirsten Dunst.
I'm sure I'll revisit it.
Crow movie? Like, what?
Yeah.
Who's next?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Pauly Shore is Eric Draven? I mean, I don't understand. Like...
Eddie Furlong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think that, what's his name? Perez, right? Vincent Perez.
Vincent Perez was the second one.
Yeah, I don't think he did that bad of a job.
No, he brought a lot of anger to it, and he was fine.
Yeah.
But he had to know what kind of shadow he was working under.
Yeah, that takes some
Which is already, that's already just ouch, you know. And, you know, Iggy Pop was good in it.
Yes. You know, and I'll be honest with you, that soundtrack wasn't too bad as well.
Oh, I almost put it up there with the first one.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the first one I love top to bottom, but there's a lot of bands on that first soundtrack that I'm still not really that familiar with. You know, I just know the song from that, you know, and I like it. Whereas City of Angels, you had Korn, White Zombie, Deftones, Nine Inch Nails. That was more of a Who's Who soundtrack than the first one was.
Right.
And I really liked it a lot. I mean,
even that Bush song was great. Yeah, the whole song was great.
I was going to say, I'm not a big fan of Hole at all, but that Gold Dust Woman cover of Fleetwood Mac, it's phenomenal. It's one of those, me and my brother call them soundtrack movies where none of it's good except for the soundtrack. I could say that about several movies. I'm looking at my soundtracks right now, and I'm like,
Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Way better than the movie. E.T. I mean, what was that shit? Come on.
That's me.
Nobody's breakdancing to E.T. Come on. I do have a lot, like Spawn. Remember Spawn?
Fuck yes.
I wasn't crazy about it.
Really?
I don't remember much about it. Yeah, I don't remember much about it. I just remember not liking it. But the soundtrack is killer.
I still own the soundtrack. Soundtrack is one of the sickest soundtracks ever. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, it's great. But yeah, that was one that I remember when I saw it, I was just kind of like, because I love the comic. You know, the comic was great. And it always had a special place for me because it came out on my birthday.
Okay.
The very first issue came out May 10th of like 92 maybe?
Yeah.
So like my 10th birthday, boom, Spawn was on the shelf, and I just immediately liked it. I was like, this is like a demonic Batman. It's fucking awesome.
I loved it,
you know,
man.
The chains and everything. It was just sweet.
Did you watch the HBO cartoons?
Yes, I love those.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was way better. I only saw Spawn the one time, and I was disappointed.
Wow.
So maybe with a new set of eyes, I can give it a shot.
Yeah.
You know,
you should, because it's very fun.
Well, like I said, you know, I did that with City of Angels, and like I said, it didn't blow me away, but
there's way worse Crow sequels.
Yeah, and it was just I remember coming away from it almost feeling a little dirty.
Okay.
You know, it was like, I kind of liked it this time, and I felt bad. You know, you've got it in your head that this movie is such a fucking sham. You know. Mm-hmm. It's a money grab. It's fucking up the memory of Brandon. You know, who probably wouldn't have given a shit. He probably would have given it his blessing even if he wasn't invited back. You know what I mean? He was a cool guy like that.
Yeah.
But you knew watching it that this was meant to be another Brandon vehicle, and it just felt phony. And to watch it again and be like, fuck, I kind of dug it. I just felt like shit.
No, I get it.
I'll probably do the same with Spawn eventually. I don't own it. It's not one that I've got, but
No
I'm sure it's
kidding.
streaming somewhere.
Wow.
I just never picked it up.
Yeah, I feel like the Spawn and the Crow world, they're similar on that aspect of just the underbelly, the gritty, dirty,
yes,
wrong
they're
side of the
both
track.
kind of unforgiving revenge stories.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think that's why I liked both of them so well. Because again, I was, and I still own the original Spawn comics from when I worked at the comic book store when they came out day one
Sweet.
shelf. I have the colors in those books, and I was just like, oh my God, they were fucking insane. The covers of those, the first, 50, 60 issues are just insane. And I automatically, man, I was like, wow, this fucking Simmons cat is crazy. This is nuts. It was cool. So, but yeah, I don't know, man, getting back to this 2024 Crow, I have reservations, but I also have high hopes.
It'd be nice for the Crow to become more than just it's one movie.
Just don't let David Gordon Green nowhere near it.
Yeah, I hate to say it, he's not had a great track record as of late.
You know what? And that goes back to my opinion of do what you know. You know, I mean, I again, we can get into that whole thing like it's, but I don't want to, just about the Halloween series, the last three.
Sure.
But I just feel like they shouldn't have control over some of these iconic IPs. I just don't.
True.
I don't.
Do you think they should just leave it alone and let it languish, or?
No, I think they should give it to someone who loves the property, who genuinely loves it.
Well, I mean, just to play devil's advocate, we don't know that David Gordon Green doesn't love Halloween.
Well, no, I'm not saying he don't love Halloween, but I feel like what he did was let me pay attention to details that were laid down for me.
Okay.
Let me tie my series to the first one.
I see. Okay.
Instead of creating something original, because I'm not a fan of losing Halloween 2. And and if
they did disregard it.
Yeah, so it's like if you disregard 2, and I understand the rest of them, okay, fine, but that doesn't mean I don't like them, because I still do like the other ones. I'm sorry. But in my opinion is like, for the story to make sense, like if you think about it, like in 78, man, Michael only killed like what, 6, 7 people?
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
It wasn't the Sawyer family, man. It wasn't Chainsaw Massacre. You know what I mean? It was just this very methodical, quiet, stalking.
He was like a shark.
Yeah. And it's like, so if you get rid of 2, then you're going to have this girl that saw him only a few times in the whole movie. You're going to have that completely ruin her entire life. And she's now a fucking hermit shut-in who's building traps and has shut the world out. And this is like taken her whole life over, and she's waiting on this one day. You know what I mean?
If you still had that full night with Haddonfield Memorial.
Yeah, then it's like, okay, it makes a little more sense. This dude's a fucking monster.
Yeah, he didn't stop. Whatsoever. You know.
So I feel like it should be Halloween 2. And I'll be honest with you, I might be crucified for this, but I think 2017 should be Halloween 3 and then 4 and 5. That's how the series should be.
Huh.
I think Halloween 18 should be Halloween 3. Why name a movie Halloween when the first one's named Halloween?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've never liked that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just a nitpicky fucking.
That's a stylistic thing that I don't agree with either.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, I know it's not the first, we're not remaking it, but we're just going to call it that.
Yeah.
And I've never been a fan of that.
Yeah. Or at least stick to your guns and be like, okay, you disregard 2? Well, then guess what? This is Halloween 2.
Right.
Yep. Like, fine. And then maybe do like the flashback like they did like the 78 stuff. Why not do that?
Oh, that was in
Kills.
That was in Kills.
Yeah,
yep.
like so why not do like in Halloween Kills, the flashback? Why not do a whole movie of that? Or do what made her go crazy? Dope. You know what I mean? Because I mean, look at the fucking makeup job. The likeness makeup job Chris Nelson did on the character playing Donald Pleasance.
It was eerie.
It was.
my hair stood up when I seen them. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It was just phenomenal.
Yeah. So I was just like,
well, even the details of the Myers house with the light or the gutter that fell and broke the window,
yes.
that was still hanging there.
Insane.
I was more wrapped up in the flashback stuff than I was the rest.
Mm-hmm.
But I still enjoyed kills.
Hey, look, don't get me wrong. I loved every single one of them.
Did you?
I did. I just didn't like the disregarding of Halloween 2, especially if you want to make a cohesive story that makes sense, linear.
It's just the way it works now. Everything's about fresh starts and
yeah.
Although I will tell you, I don't know if you were aware of this. I found this out watching the commentary for, I think, Halloween Kills. When you're writing the script or when you register your movie with the studio and not for the public, your Halloween is Halloween number whatever.
Okay.
So he flat out said Halloween Kills, as far as the studio and paperwork was concerned, is Halloween 12.
I get it. I get that.
Which is funny. It's almost it's a little bit like what you're talking about,
mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it's like somewhere out there in a file cabinet, Halloween Kills is Halloween 12.
Mm-hmm.
So the continuity may not jive, but it's still a Roman numeral of sorts.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I thought that was interesting. I didn't know they just did that just for filing purposes.
Yeah.
You know, Rob Zombie's Halloween is Halloween 9, you know.
Yeah, I had no idea. That's crazy.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. So, I mean, it's like if you were like, yeah, I saw the 9th Halloween, you wouldn't necessarily be wrong. I don't look at it as the 9th. I think of it as another start because we're cliff noting the original film again, basically. But that was an interesting little tidbit I picked up was no matter how many remakes, reboots, sequels, spinoffs, they're all numbered as part of that series in order.
That's
so it's kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
See, look at that tangent we went off on, man. I didn't even know we were talking about Halloween. And
just for Halloween.
This was,
and we weren't even talking. Yeah, I was
fucking
say
David Gordon Green's fault.
2024.
Because I made a joke about him directing The Crow.
I'll tell you one that I'm a little hesitant about. There's a few movies coming out this year that I'm like, why? Like Gladiator 2. Like I mean, I know Ridley Scott's in it. He's directing it. It's Connie Nielsen again. Blah blah blah. Denzel Washington's apparently in it.
Okay.
Fuck that. Why are we doing Gladiator 2?
It almost sounds like a spoof.
Certain movies just seem like a one and done. You know what I'm saying? Like the entire story of Gladiator to me died with that character. You're done. It was a full arc.
Yeah.
Probably my most anticipated movie is Deadpool 3.
Okay.
Where we're bringing, for one thing, it's the first Deadpool movie to be part of the actual MCU. He was a Fox property prior to. Now he's actually part of the same world as Iron Man and the Hulk and all that stuff. And he brought back Wolverine from the X-Men series.
I saw that, the yellow suit Wolverine.
Yes. And here's what's even crazier. It's that Wolverine. I've heard rumors that the Jennifer Garner Elektra from 2003's Daredevil is supposed to be in it.
Really?
So we're cross-pollinating all of these. Like, those are the three characters that's already blowing my mind, but it's like, who else is going to appear in this? Because you know Ryan Reynolds and his team, for their debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's going to blow the doors off. He's going to go big. And as a huge Marvel fan, as a huge Deadpool fan, I can't wait for this fucking movie, dude. I'm on pins and needles about that one because so far that series, the Deadpool series, just by itself, is 2 for fucking 2 in my book. They're great. Great movies.
I haven't seen the second one.
The second one's even better than the first, in my opinion.
No
It's
kidding.
hilarious.
Okay.
It's more violent. It's fucking sicker. It's funnier. I laugh the whole fucking movie.
Wow, all right.
Every time it's on TV, I leave it on. I can't help it. I can't turn it off. So I'm really looking forward to Deadpool 3. That's my big one for 2024.
Okay.
I'm kind of skimming through this list here. They've got Furiosa, a Mad Max spinoff with Anya Taylor-Joy. It's by George Miller again, so it's still in the wheelhouse of the guy who started it all. I kind of need to just knock through those again, I think. I'm not even sure if I've seen Fury Road.
Fury Road is good.
Is it? Okay.
Fury
That's
Road
the fourth one, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, Beyond Thunderdome, that's my jam.
No shit, the Tina Turner one.
She's so badass in it. Like, yeah.
She is. She's great.
Everything about Thunderdome is it for me. I love that one. I know there's another one that I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Again, another Omen movie is coming out.
Oh, yeah, the first Omen, I think they're calling it. Well, what's weird is if it's a prequel, which I'm assuming it is just by the title, maybe, then what the fuck was Damien?
That's what I mean. Like, I don't understand, because this one's supposed to be about, like, some American chick that gets sent to Rome to start, her life as a nun, and then she encounters the darkness and all this kind of shit, and it's just like... What? Well,
just by virtue of the fact that the Omen saga starts with Damien, quote unquote, are we just watching a movie to see a kid get born and get killed? Because clearly whatever it is that happens doesn't take, right?
Exactly.
I'm with you on that one. What are your thoughts on Twisters? Have you heard of that?
Yes.
I guess it was supposed to be a direct sequel, and they just decided, you know what, it's in the universe, we'll make reference to it, but all new people and more bad weather.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, is like, God damn it, you're just showing the same shit.
I can't really get behind that one. I'm not really interested.
I mean, you know what? The 96 film, classic.
It is. It's a fun movie.
It's so much fun.
I definitely ain't watching it for the stupid divorce story that's just lame, but...
Right? I don't know. Like,
as far as effects and stuff go, that was to weather what Jurassic Park was to dinosaur movie.
For sure.
It was a phenomenal film for the effects and the sound design, and it was just... Yeah, and then the thing is, since then, there's been so many natural disaster movies that... I kind of don't care. They all run together for me.
They all do.
I mean, if I wasn't so anal about movies, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you a Dante's Peak from a volcano or.
Oh yeah,
same. It's just they were just cranking them out left, right, and center, and it got to the point where even Twister, when it would come on, I'm like, nah. I just don't feel like watching bad weather right now.
Yeah.
Again.
I mean, at some point, it's either going to be Tommy Lee Jones is going to show up or Bruce Willis is going to show up.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
So what about that Nosferatu?
Robert Eggers?
Yeah.
That could be cool. That could be cool.
It could be.
Because, I don't know. It's funny that you mentioned that. I actually revisited The Witch today. We're doing this episode on the 23rd. Today was the day it opened in 2016, I believe.
Okay.
I don't know if we've talked about it on the show, but I have this gargantuan spreadsheet that I showed you. It's basically a massive ever-growing calendar. And I went through all my movies in my collection and put everything out by theatrical release date so that I'll never not know what to watch any day. So today I pulled up January 23rd, what movies came out today. And The Witch was on there, and I hadn't seen it since it first came out. I couldn't tell you a whole lot about it. I remember bits and pieces. So I just popped it in today, and it was fucking creepy. It was creepier than I remembered. And it's a slow boil, but Robert Eggers, he has a way of building dread the way Kubrick did. It's very slow, dark, unnerving. Nothing's just thrown at you. I feel like him doing a Nosferatu would be really unsettling.
Did you see who's playing Orlok?
No. Who is playing Orlok?
Fucking Bill Skarsgård.
Oh my God, this is going to be his fucking year, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's so badass, That's why I was like, okay, fucking awesome. He's going to play Count Orlok and Eric Draven in the same fucking year.
And that's after blowing the socks off of Pennywise.
Exactly. So that's why my hopes are so high with both of them,
I think that one's probably more of a sure bet.
Yeah, the Nosferatu.
I kind of feel like we're going to get what we paid for and then some, whereas the other ones are we're gambling.
Well, because there really isn't that definitive, oh my God, this is the greatest Nosferatu movie ever made.
No, but the two that they made, and I'll even throw in Shadow of the Vampire, the making of,
amazing,
with Willem Dafoe. I've never been let down by. Is he really?
Yeah, he's in the 2024.
That makes sense because he did The Lighthouse with Eggers too, and The Northman.
Yeah, yeah.
But I can't see that one failing, personally.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I love the original Nosferatu.
I love the original, and I even love the Werner Herzog one
so
from
the
70s.
So with Klaus?
Fantastic movie. Yep. I never did see Nosferatu in, is it Venice?
No, you know
I
what?
never watched that. I
I
own
didn't
it. I've got
either.
it on the shelf.
Yeah, I didn't
I
either.
picked it up when I think Severin put it out, and I picked up a copy, but I've not gotten around to it.
Okay,
But it's got Klaus again, you know.
that's cool.
I will say, if there's any that I'm looking forward to as much as Deadpool, I'm really intrigued by the new Ghostbusters.
Oh my God,
I think this looks insane.
I know.
I think it looks fucking phenomenal. I think it's going to be awesome.
Well, it's weird. Think about this. On a marquee at theaters, it's literally going to be The Crow, Ghostbusters, fucking Twisters. Like, what year is this?
I know. Did you see that they're even doing a movie adaptation of The Fall Guy?
No fucking way.
Yep. Ryan Gosling plays Colt Seavers from The Fall Guy.
And you know what? Hey, that was my shit.
Yeah. Oh, same.
That, I mean, I have them on DVD, man. I had the toys. Like,
Oh, you
God,
collected it?
fucking, oh God, yeah, dude. Are you kidding me? Fucking Heather Thomas.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
And my distant cousin, Lee Majors.
That is so fucking cool. Tina's worked with him.
Has she? I've never met him, but he's my grandma's first cousin, I think, on my mom's side.
That's so cool.
And it's funny. There's certain facial expressions he makes where I'm like, oh, yeah, he's family. We know him.
That's funny.
What are your thoughts on Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire? Because we talked a little bit about Godzilla last episode.
Yes, we did. And I am going to see -1. But I am going to try to find it in color first, because the 26th release is going to be in black and white.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, so I do want to see it in color, and there is a couple of places in LA, and then I believe there's one in San Diego that's still showing the film. So I am going to go see it. Now, as far as New Empire, I think it's going to be cool. I really do, especially with, like, you know, Weingart being at the helm. You know, he knows what he's doing, because you can tell he's a fan.
Yeah. He knows what the kaiju audience wants to see. Just big, loud monsters wrecking shit, man.
That's it.
He knows the human element is kind of an afterthought in these movies.
That always takes a backseat to the destruction.
Yeah.
Out of that series, I don't mind that Godzilla.
No, me neither. I've enjoyed all of them so far.
Yeah, because I mean, I am a Godzilla snob.
I know. That's one thing we talked. That's why I wanted to ask you. I'm like, I know that there's a few people who have watched the trailer and they're like, this looks stupid, that looks stupid, and they're nitpicking. And I'm like, you know what? It just looks loud and crazy, and I'm in. I'm in.
That's my version of a high concept. Because I'm not a big, like, Fast and the Furious guy, or, you know, these fucking asteroid movies and sci-fi movies, you know. So it's like, you know what? That's my kind of an action film that I can get into. I feel like they've taken something from my childhood that I enjoyed, that you can clearly see a guy in a rubber suit and models, but that was still part of the fun.
Yeah.
And they've just ramped that shit up. I'm still getting the same effects of those older Toho films.
The spirit's there, that's all. Like you said in the last episode, it's Toho with a budget.
Yeah.
There's a charm to the way those others work.
Yeah.
In the same vein, I guess I could ask you this. Are you a fan of the Planet of the Apes movies?
The originals, yes. I did try to watch these new ones, and it just didn't grab me.
Really? Okay, because there's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes coming out this year. And I'm excited about it. I've enjoyed them all, you know.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're bad. They just didn't grab me. Like the originals.
But like that's the thing. That's kind of why I wanted to segue, because it's the same thing as Godzilla. You had little rubber monkey masks and Roddy McDowell trying to emote through what's clearly a rubber mask, you know. There was a charm to it. It was fun, and the themes were extremely dark.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, there isn't a Planet of the Apes movie that ends happily.
Oh, no.
Not a one.
Exactly.
So they're all very nihilistic. They're all very, you know, whether there's laughs in it or not, they all end with our destruction, essentially. I don't know. I've kind of enjoyed seeing post Tim Burton's, which was just a remake, these like the Dawn, Rise, War, you know, these new ones with Andy Serkis. I think the effects are great, and I think the stories are really in tune with the Rod Serling era. You know, there's an irony to them. They're kind of deep, they're kind of heavy, and I feel like the makers of the originals would probably really have enjoyed these, because I don't think they've made them exploitive or cheesy. I think that they've kept the social commentary kind of intact. It's just like you said, instead of Toho with a budget, it apes with a budget now. You know, this literally looks like actual apes. You know, it's not cheesy.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I only saw the first one. out of the remakes.
The Dawn. I think that's Dawn.
Yeah. And I think I was just more bitter than anything.
Sure.
Because I'm like, no, where's Roddy McDowall? So I think I just kind of like, I just nixed it out of it. Like, it's not going to be any good. And I think that's what I got. So maybe I should just kind of revisit them and just see them for what they are.
It might not be a bad idea. And the only reason I say that is because one of the things I loved about the old ones was how much humanity, if you can pardon the pun, McDowell especially put to a role that in a face that's kind of stationary.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's just shy of puppeting his own face. And he found a way to make Cornelius, and in the further movies, Caesar, he made them sympathetic, sad, scared. He had a way of emoting through all that was really cool. Now you zip ahead 30-something odd years, 40 years, Andy Serkis is doing motion capture, and his version of Caesar is obviously completely CGI. He's still acting, but man, it's the same thing. Yeah. Like, you look into this character's eyes and you're like, this monkey is fucking pissed. You know, like, I was intimidated by him because it did look so fucking real. And I thought, for better or worse, they found a way to make it feel like a more expensive version of the old one again. Whereas to me, Tim Burton's, and again, I only saw that one once, I remember just thinking, you know, I wasn't a big fan of Burton's, and it just felt like a popcorn version.
Oh, me neither.
Of the old one.
I didn't like it at all.
Know, but these last three, boy, they're heavy. They're deep, you know. And that was really the entire point of those old movies was, what are we doing to ourselves? What are we doing to animals? There's segregation issues. There was even one, I think it's Escape from the Planet of the Apes. It might be the second or third. They even talk about abortion. They found a way to use it the same way Romero does with his zombies. They were using this ape thing as a way to tackle social issues of the time. And the whole point of that one was Dr. Zira, Roddy's wife in those movies. She was pregnant, and now you've got America going, you know what? If she has this baby, this chimp, this is how we die. So we need to either kill the mother or let her deliver it and kill the baby. And it was just, these aren't things you think of going into a movie called Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
They were really switched on and really, really cognizant of what the story they were telling. And the apes were like Romero zombies. They're an afterthought. It doesn't matter that they're apes. The story is this.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I have yet to have seen one that I just flat out didn't like. And I'm kind of excited for this. I guess it's the fourth one in this new.
Well, yeah, because it's Rise, Dawn, War, right?
Yes, War. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And the thing is, when you watch them, it kind of just picks it up from where the other ones left off. We're not remaking shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's what's kind of cool about it is we're just kind of coming around full circle. I'm waiting for the Apes movie to come out where we actually see the Statue of Liberty topple.
Yeah, right.
You know, then it's like, oh God, we know where this is headed. You know what I mean? So that's been kind of cool with these is that none of them have been like, yeah, let's just remake Planet of the Apes. No, they're just like, what happened in those years that Charlton Heston was in space, completely unaware, you know, thousands of years down the line that this is Earth and this is what happened, you know. So I think it's been kind of dope, man. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be cool if they tie those worlds together.
Sure. Oh, yeah, because then it's all part of the same cyclical story, you know.
Well, now I got some movies I got to watch.
Cool.
I gotta check some shit out. So I think we've been fucking jabbering long enough and bore the hell out of the listeners.
Yeah, sorry guys. This was a. Hey, maybe you guys, you know, maybe you took some notes and you got some movies you're looking forward to now. You should email us at 5195podcast@gmail.com. What are you guys looking forward to seeing?
Yeah. Give us some titles we didn't talk about, or
sure. Tell
us how we were wrong about what we said.
About some of our opinions.
Opinions, how our opinions are shit.
I do want to put it out there. We just put out on Spotify another playlist for you guys. It's the collection of songs that we discussed on episode 26, the music video episode. A lot of people fucking love that one. A lot of people tell me that that's one of their favorite episodes. And just as a little treat, a little Easter egg, all the songs we talked about, I put together a big Spotify playlist of all of them, and it's out there, and the link should be on our link tree. So that's something else for you guys to play with while you're at work. If you've listened to a show and you got nothing left, jam to some songs that have either really good or really bad music video.
Some of the ones I mentioned were really bad. So
really bad. I felt ashamed putting them on the list, but
they were bad. They were bad.
We did talk about them, so they gotta go.
They gotta be up there.
And I think we should still put a playlist out on YouTube of the videos. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be super fucking cool. So, All right, man. Well, I think it was another fun one. I can't wait to do it again.
Yes, sir.
And you have a great week.
You too. And we're one more week closer to me swinging back out.
That's right. Picking you up at the airport and then heading right to Norm's.
Yep, absolutely. As per tradition.
Hell yeah. All right, brother. Well, it was good talking to you.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, until next time.
See you guys.